Okay, so both gear doors are complete, and this is what they look like. Pretty happy with that. And they close. Okay guys, so I just received my Actuonix linear actuators. So that's these guys. I ordered, let's see. I ordered 4 of them. 2 of them are 50 millimeter stroke, and then 2 of them are 30 millimeter stroke. T-38. So let's take a look at one of these guys and see what they look like. All right. So the reason I like these is because they're proportional. So they're not just end to end or bang bang. So you can actually tell, see that? You can move it a little bit, you can move it all the way, you can move it all the way down. Fantastic. So these are proportional. I think I looked at Electron. Electron also has linear actuators, but those go end to end, so they're on off, or they'll stop midway if the current spikes to beyond what a certain level or something like that. So torque driven almost. But the Actuonix ones I really like because they are already proportional. They're basically a servo, just linear, which is great. So what I'd like to go over is how you go from this sort of end, which is a stock end that the Actuonix linear servos come with, to that end, which is what you're gonna actually, well, in my case, this is what I use to mount these linear servos to actually actuate the gear doors. So it's a fairly easy process, so I'll go through it right now. So these actuators come with sort of that cap, and that cap is basically this guy. And basically what I did is I opened that, and you can see in the back they are hollow, and this is just about the size of an M3 lock nut. It's gonna be a little bit tight, but basically what I did is I'm gonna take this and open it up and show you. So there it is, open, and you can see that there's an M3 rod drilled through the cap, threaded it in, and on the end of it put an M3 lock nut and ground it down, just so that the end of the nut is roughly the end of the plastic cap. And that's important because you can see in here you've got a piece of metal, which is actually what moves this entire cylinder. And so if you make that, if this is sort of a little bit longer, it interferes with retracting this all the way back down. So you want to be careful with that. And so once you have that, you have your M3 rod on top, and then you have your ball link, or whatever these things are called, metallic, and those just screw on to here, and you can cut this to length however you want. So on the other end of the actuator, so right on this end, there's a mounting bracket, and so what I'm going to use is this guy right here. This comes in the kit that is provided with the linear actuators, and what I did is I went ahead and measured inside the T-38 jet how I want to mount it, and marked this piece of wood is about 2 inches by 1 inch, and that's going to get epoxied on the back side to the jet, and then the actuators are going to sit inside just like that and get bolted on with also screws that came in the kit for this. And so then these are going to be able to actuate and rotate in that direction as needed. So that's the way that they're going to get mounted in the jet. I will get that done and come back and show what the end result looks like. So the Actuonix linear servos mounted, I actually wound up using the shorter one, so that's a 30 millimeter 100 gear ratio. That has a perfect throw. The 50 millimeter was a little too much, And so here goes. Gear close, gear open. I'm very happy with that. Let's see, let's show how this is mounted on the inside. Let's actually close the gear door for that. And then flip this around so I can show what that looks like on the inside. So it's basically just as I'd shown earlier, where I mounted the actuator. There's a sort of a mounting piece. I epoxied that to a piece of wood, as you can see, and then just epoxied that piece of wood to the side of the fuselage, and so that seems to work really well. So really fits well. Doesn't interfere with the intake here or interfere with anything else. So I have mounted one of the Electron linear actuators, and the other one is currently drying. So I have these clamps, as you can see, that will secure that in place until it's dry, and then we'll test it and go from there. That's it. I have everything working as it seems to be. Gear doors open. And V-trucks come out. Gears locked and gear doors going down.